And okay, so it could be a weird night with Wi-Fi and technology, but what the fuck isn't weird in this world right now? Um, First off, if you hear like a loud breathing noise in the background, my computer is just on a different level right now. I think it before we started, it went from obnoxiously loud to I restart my computer and it's probably just loud right now. So that shit's OD because I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Everything sucks, bro.
Damn it.
Would you get a fly?
There's like these little I like there's these little fruit flies and like we try to do all the shit that they tell you to do like because we have
Nothing
a
works.
fruit bowl on our table.
Mm-hmm.
We try to put cinnamon in that shit. Sometimes we put like stuff down the drain I think to get rid of it and always like I and I've said this before, but I'm fascinated by just how many different types of bugs and shit there are because one, we have this company that comes by and puts stuff on our grass that's supposed to get rid of all the bugs. They come and literally there's more bugs that come from that fucking company. So whatever
Yeah.
they do, that shit's a scam. I
We
bought
can't get
some
rid of our
flower
ants.
shit that supposedly keeps like mosquitoes and bugs away. Still fucking mad shit. And then when I open my door outside my front door, there's some bugs that like I've never even seen before. I'm like, what? How many fucking bugs are there?
Yeah, man. We can't get rid of ants at our house. Always reappear because when we feed the cats and the cat food is out, the ants always pop up out of fucking nowhere. We even had them shits in the dead of winter when they're all supposed to be dead. Those shits are supposed to be seasonal and only show up in the spring and
Yeah,
stay like spring and like early summer. Those motherfuckers are like in January fucking with us.
they,
So we got ant problems.
yep,
And then for us in our front yard, dog, I've had to take like 5 ticks off myself this year.
yeah, that's OD.
5.
Yeah,
And just because I like walk through my front lawn,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking but
It's
like
these
everything
little ones
sucks.
that like
Nothing works.
nothing works, and I try to like I have this dope little fly zapper thing, and it's like a tennis racket. So like when I get
Mm.
them, I
Hmm.
I feel bad because I feel like if I was, I mean, I don't know how anyone signs up for this job, but the person who probably is like the one who pushes the button to like electrocute someone on like death row,
Oh hell yeah. I can't do that shit.
I can't do that shit. But when it comes
No.
to when I catch a fly in that buzzer, I don't stop, dog. Like I keep pushing that button, and that fly is like he done fucked up for getting caught by me because I just keep zapping the shit out of him. So like almost does the person who zaps people for a living have that same effect where they're like, I'm gonna just roast this dude? Or
It's some psychopath who likes doing it to a person. You know what I'm saying?
well,
But with the bug, like you're doing the bug a favor, honestly, by getting it over with quickly.
that's
Like the
true.
more you press it, the
That's true.
more happy. If I'm that bug, I want somebody who's gonna press it for like 20 seconds just to make sure I'm dead.
Yo, I owed like so one, I don't know how you there's all different types of fly swatters. There's like the OG ones that like it comes on a long stick and then has almost like a pancake flap on the top of it. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like super
Mm-hmm.
floppy.
Yep.
That shit to me is dumb hard to catch a fly because you gotta wind up and even like with the speed of the like elasticness, you still gotta catch the fly. And those shits are evasive as fuck. So like I don't know what the catch ratio between different fly swatters are, but if anyone's still using that shit, or if you've ever seen the fly swatter that this is dumb old school, but it's like it's almost like a gun and it's got like a string on it and it's got like a little I think circular thing and you push the button and it like splatters out to get the fly. You ever seen that one?
No,
I
that
feel
sounds
like
crazy.
there is some type of fly swatter that you push the button and like it's like a string and the part goes and gets the fly.
Whatever happened to an old fashioned light, like a bug light, where it just zaps it and they die when they fly to that? You don't even have to do anything for that.
That's
It
kind of
just does all the
genius.
work for you.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you can't put that in your crib if you've got like one random fly flying around.
wrong. There's ones that they make specifically for your house,
Ooh,
where
I didn't know about
you
that.
plug it into the wall, and it's actually like this really cool blue light. It's like a LED sort of blue light.
Yeah.
But then if you go, like, let's say you put one in, you come back a week later and like look inside of it, you'll see a bunch of dead flies. Like they go right to that bitch.
So there's a couple of like I actually don't mind that. I've never seen that, but that's kind of dope. I've seen it like camping. I think you like pull open the like Coleman, whatever company Coleman is, they make mad outdoor shit. And it's like you spin it and pull it open and it's that blue light and mad bugs just like I actually have like some shit right here.
Yeah, it's like the light behind me. It's like that color, you know? Yeah.
This shit and like mad bugs just fly in there. But there's also the it's like a nasty strip that comes down. You ever see it in like a bagel place or like some type of restaurant in the back?
Yeah. The sticky, yeah, that's ugly. Yeah,
There's some
that's ugly.
places that like that shit is straight hanging inside of a restaurant, like, and they don't give a fuck.
I mean, low key, they're sort of blessing everybody because it's getting all the bugs away from the food. But at the same time, the fact that just the fact that you need that in there is disturbing in and of itself. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just disturbing because we like to think of the shit where we eat, we want it to be pristine. We don't want to think of any fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just gross shit. I know our cat
Mhm.
has eaten a mouse.
Oh,
Went outside, grabbed a mouse, brought it inside, and left it on the floor for us of our bedroom to be like, "Good morning, here's some breakfast for you."
oh no.
Also did it with a bird one time.
In your
Like
room?
just ate. Yeah, and Crystal woke me up, was like, "Oh my God, Salem brought in a dead mouse," and I was like, "That shit is probably one of his toys," and she was like, "No, it's a dead mouse,"
So
and it was a dead mouse.
who's the
He also
one?
got a bird one time.
Yeah, that's OD. That's like you'll get some salmonella type shit or something. Whatever the fuck like that
Yeah,
like is it Crystal or are you picking that shit up? Is she like Kyle take care of that shit? Cuz Molly asked me to do that shit and I'm like, "Fuck no."
I don't remember. Hey, Crystal, when Salem brought in the dead mouse, did I clean it up or did you? Yeah, I don't remember either. She said I don't remember, and I don't remember
Oh,
either.
I feel like that would be some shit that I definitely remember if I picked up a fucking mouse and brought that shit
I
outside.
mean, bro, there's so much shit happening, and my
Yeah,
brain is so
that's true.
packed that like I don't remember anything, dog.
That's mad respect to you.
Have you had the forget your age yet thing happen to you? Like
Bro,
I've had to be like, wait, Crystal, what am I 37? Am I 37? Like I've had to do that a bunch. I did it when I was like 34, 35, 36. Like there were times I'm like a year off
yeah.
in one direction or the other.
No, I don't I've my age I'm kind of good cuz I'll give myself periodic like check-ins throughout the year and I'll remind myself like, "Yo, you're 36." Like it's kind of like a pep talk to me to just
Mm-hmm.
not forget my age type of shit. But my
Yeah.
daughter's ages, it's not that I forget them, the years I don't get. And
Yes. Yep. I
like
agree. I can say the month, the year I struggle. I'd have to do the math to get
all
the
that
year.
shit. All that shit. And
Yeah.
it
Mm-hmm.
like it's crazy cuz I feel like when it comes to a lot of sports shit, like I'm really good with like stadiums and arena names and like what like sponsor and all that shit. And same with you. Like you probably think back to bills and laws that got passed like dumb long
Yeah.
ago. Is it just that like we take for granted our age that like when someone asks us, it's almost just like I haven't even thought about that shit because I'm supposed to remember that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it like since it's changing every year and you're so busy and you got other things on your mind, like it takes you a second to be, wait a second, is that what I am? But for the things you mentioned, like you've known the names of the stadium since you were like a kid.
Yeah,
And
just
so that stays with you because
yeah,
it's like, oh, I got this shit in here. For me, the political shit that I know is like I've been reading about this shit since like 2009. Like, of course I know this shit,
yeah,
you know? So it's different. Whenever something changes that much, yeah, it's going to be like, what is it again?
yep,
Because who cares? Oh, that's the other thing is like, who cares? Like,
yeah,
what
yeah,
age like, who cares what age I am? Who cares what age you are? So, like, nobody's thinking about it. Nobody cares. So you just sort of forget. I
yeah.
mean, I'll remember quickly because I could do the math. Born 1988, do the math on it, whatever. But I've definitely missed one way or the other a year too young or a year too old at least like 2 or 3 times in my life.
Yeah. It was funny. I was talking to Molly yesterday, and she was like, "Who was president when we were born in '88? Do you know? Was it like Nixon or some shit?"
No, no, it wasn't Nixon. So 1988, I actually want to say, and I remember I looked this up one time and it actually surprised me. Like
Uh-huh.
I totally forgot about it. But I'm pretty sure Ronald Reagan was president in 1988.
You could have
And
said
then and
Bob Duffy. I would have believed you.
but it's crazy because I don't think of it like that. I really think of it as like George H.W. Bush being the first president when I was born.
That's what I
But
like. I was trying to date it backward. I was trying to go backwards on the shit, and I remembered like obviously Trump, then Biden, then Trump, Obama. Like I was going backwards with the shit, and before Obama was Bush, right?
yeah, before Obama was Bush. So, but let me ask you. So, Ronald Reagan left office
Mhm.
January 20th, 1989.
Oh, so it wasn't him.
For you, it wasn't him. For me, it was him.
Oh, you were born 89?
I was born 88.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
born January 31st, 1988. He left office January 20th, 1989. So
Oh,
almost
89.
on my first birthday.
Okay.
For you, your July birthday,
Yep.
July 15th.
Yep.
And so you're July 15th, 1988.
8. Yep.
Okay, so it was the same for you too
Good
then.
ass memory.
But that's crazy, bro, because I literally wasn't even like, you were even younger than me. I was not even a year old when he was there. And then it was H.W. Bush. See, I before I looked it up, I thought, oh, it had to be H.W. Bush was the president when I was born. But then when I first looked it up, it was like, oh shit, Reagan was still in there. And that shit makes me feel old as fuck.
Yeah.
Because I still remember. Do you remember anything from the Clinton years? Because I do. I remember my dad and my mom, it was more my dad, telling people in the family when they came to our house for some event,
Yeah.
like, don't talk about the dick sucking shit. Like, don't talk about what happened in the Oval Office. I remember my dad saying that. It was some summer, maybe like a July 4th barbecue or something. And he told everybody, like, let's not talk about like, you know, the president getting his dick sucked. And I didn't even know. I mean, he said it more like, don't talk about Monica Lewinsky or whatever. But, like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant. But I just remember my dad saying that. And, like, that's my first political memory probably, is that. And that's Clinton years. Do you remember anything from the Clinton years? Your mom or your dad saying something, or just watching TV and you see the president talk and you're like, "That's the president." Do you have anything from the Clinton years or no?
The Clinton years, no, I really don't. And like, I think, and I don't know when that happened, but maybe just because I saw it earlier on TV today. But I feel like all of the OJ shit overshadowed anything that happened with the president. And I don't even know if those were the same type of years.
It was the 90s. It was in the 90s. So yeah, that's around the Clinton era. Sure.
The only shit I really remember politically, and this guy did such a good fucking job, was no, I don't remember anything with Clinton shit. Like, I don't even really remember like putting on the news and like them being like Monica Lewinsky. Like, I don't remember any of that shit. The only shit I remember was Ross Perot.
Yeah,
like
he ran twice. He ran, I want to say 92 and 96 or 96 and 2000.
I don't remember like what he did or like I just remember him, and I don't even know if he finished out doing well, but I just remember him beasting that shit.
First time he did well. I think he got like 13% of the vote.
But what was his, like, was he like a Bernie Sanders type? Like, did he have like a revolution? Like just
no, he was unique. So first of all, he ran as an independent. And the only reason he was sort of able to do that and get on the ballot is because, number one, he's really fucking rich. He's a billionaire.
Okay.
And number two, the Democrats and the Republicans hadn't really colluded to sort of like ice out the independents yet. So the lane was sort of wide open.
Right.
And so he's a billionaire. He funded his campaign. And he was a weird mix because he was like, in some ways, he was really conservative. Like, I want to say he was anti-abortion. But in other ways, he was on the left, like he was against NAFTA, which was the trade deal that was being negotiated that would have sent a bunch of our jobs overseas into Mexico and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what everybody remembers him for, is that he was the first person to really like take a stand against NAFTA. And so he sort of had like this weird appeal to some people on the left and some people on the right. So I was right. He ran in 1992 and 1996. From what I remember, in 1992, he did well for an independent. Perot, I'm talking about. And that he's actually the reason why Bill Clinton won. Because
he took away.
If it was just Bill Clinton versus HW, we really don't know what would have happened. But since Perot was in there, I think he took more votes from HW Bush than he did from Clinton, and so Clinton ended up winning because Ross Perot took like 13% of the vote, and most of them came from HW, from the Republicans.
Interesting.
So, and he was like this business guy and stuff, and yeah, he was like a weird mix of stuff. But I remember him too. They made fun of him on like SNL and shit.
I think he was
like a little bit of a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, I don't know if he had big ears, but I feel like
He does. He had
big ears, and but it makes sense. I mean, the fact that he was a billionaire, and it almost reminds me of when Bloomberg ran or some shit last time, and like he won a couple states. Did he win like Puerto Rico? Or not Puerto Rico.
Like Guam or some dumb shit.
Yeah, some shit. Because I mean,
no disrespect to anybody in Guam. I just mean that.
I don't think we have any citizens from Guam.
We definitely do. Shout out to Guam.
Shout out to Guam for real. I don't even know where Guam is, low key, but yeah, Bloomberg won because like he had so much money. Now that you say like Ross Perot is like a billionaire, it's like you can literally at that point too. You probably could have bought yourself enough TV coverage or publicity to start making a little bit of waves where you're getting covered by some outlets because you're greasing somebody's pockets.
Yeah, and I'm reading right now about him. He was a weird mix of ideas. He was like balance the budget, which is sort of a crazy idea that we really can't do. But he wanted to balance the budget. He wanted electronic direct democracy. He wanted, I think, cuts to Social Security, which is horrible.
Yeah.
He wanted a bunch of shit that's all over the place. But anyway, yeah, Ross Perot. That's a good first political memory.
Yeah.
Ross Perot is a good first political memory. I distinctly remember the night of the 2000 election where it was George W. Bush versus Al Gore. Do you remember that? Because I remember my mom was watching it, and I was watching the results roll in, and the shit was like dead tied. Like,
that was one
literally like
with like all of the like votes, right?
They stole it. Basically,
Al Gore definitely won that shit, right?
Al Gore definitely won it, because
Crazy.
all the news outlets went down there and did a recount themselves of the votes in Florida, because that was the main state that was in question. Yeah. Whoever won Florida won the election.
Yep.
And all the news outlets counted it, and most of the news outlets were like, there's different ways to count it, because there was an issue with the ballots and how they were like dimpled chads and hanging chads or whatever the fuck it was. But they said most of the ways you count it, Al Gore actually won. But what happened was, you had the Supreme Court basically stopped a recount. They were like, no recount. And you had Fox News declare Bush the victor without like all the votes being counted. And then you had Jeb Bush was the governor of Florida, who's George W. Bush's brother.
Easy.
Fucking crazy, bro. And I remember that, watching it, and then being like, this shit is tied as fuck. And I remember thinking, damn, that's sort of crazy that this is tied. So that was definitely a political memory that I had.
It's wild that they could like just like literally steal an election like that and get away with it. You know, like there was no, I mean, like just when you go through all the political history of shit, I mean, like I was telling Molly about, we went to go see Bill Burr last night, and I'll talk about it in a second, but like,
that's dope.
We went to the Beacon, and I was like, yo, you know, this is the theater that Abraham Lincoln got like assassinated in, right? And like, it made me think that like, there's just so much like shit that's gone on with presidents that like, I don't know. It kind of just blew my mind that like he was just watching a play and someone rolled up on him and shot him in his dome piece and killed him. Like, so I don't know. I don't know what my train of thought is on that shit, but I actually have one more memory of Bill Clinton. We used to go to Rockwell's, this restaurant. I don't know if you remember Rockwell's.
Yeah, I love that place. Rockwell's. I went there for my birthday a bunch.
It was the shit. It was like, it kind of was
so good. Their
like,
fries were banging.
Fries were banging. It was just like a chilling, like, I don't know if it was just the East Coast thing, but there was a chain of them like in Westchester.
Yeah, there were at least two I know of. One in Pelham and one maybe in New Rochelle.
There was one, I think it was in like Hartsdale, because, and now it's like an Indian cuisine spot, or like Greenberg or Ardsley. I don't know where it's at. It's not there anymore. But they had like banging burgers, and it was just like kind of like a pub type of place.
Yep.
They had all different like caricatures and like little tchotchkes on the wall, and they had a Bill Clinton playing trumpet. And I always just like, why? Like, he shouldn't play trumpet. He's the president. And like, it was this big head character thing of him playing the trumpet, and it was like my first memory, and I still remember this, of Bill Clinton like holding a trumpet, playing the trumpet, and then also
you being confused about it, like, what the fuck is this?
Being that confused. I was like, why isn't he holding like a flag or some shit? Like, well, he's not supposed to play trumpet. Like, so I just remember that shit. But imagine if like fucking Twitter was around when all that shit was going on with Bill Clinton.
Bro, I really think like I think Twitter has sped up the downfall of America. I really think it's like it's helping to lead to our downfall. Like, I was just saying this to Crystal earlier. I was like, I thought when an empire declines that it's like a slow thing, but we're witnessing our shit just go, yep, like straight down. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, I really feel like, doesn't it feel to you like the 1960s were notorious for being like really unstable?
Mm-hmm.
Like you had the civil right, you had like Jim Crow and segregation in the South, and then you had the civil rights movement, and you had all these leaders emerged, right? You had Martin Luther King Jr., he was murdered. You had RFK, he was murdered. You had
Malcolm X.
JFK, he was murdered. You had Malcolm X, he was murdered. All these like political leaders emerged, and then they were immediately murdered. And then you had the war in Vietnam, and you had you had this clash of civilizations between like the hippies who were all in favor of like free love and sex and everybody like check out of the system, but at the same time you still had the remnants of like the Leave It to Beaver ass people with the suits and the ties and the like American dream.
Perfect.
And like that was such a like known as a tumultuous time, but I honestly feel like we're going through another one of those moments right now.
Yeah.
Like the same shit, like everything is so fucking crazy now. Trump's calling in the military to Los Angeles for no fucking reason. Now there's another huge war in the Middle East. Israel, Iran, we're gonna jump in that shit. Like, it's like, yo, are we really doing this again? Because in some ways, I also feel like it's like 2003 when we went to war in Iraq, and now everybody looks back and they're like, that was really fucking stupid. We shouldn't have done. And now we're doing the same shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, it's like time is a fucking flat circle, bro.
Yeah.
Everything just comes back to the same shit, and I'm so sick of it. Like, we need to fucking break the chain. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, we're definitely, I feel like, in a bad spot, and I just feel like there's so much shit happening that it's almost like pick an issue that you can debate about, fight about, talk about, and there's just so much happening, and that's what I wanted to start with was like your thoughts on the fucking military parade shit, because that was one that I was like,
bro,
I put it on Fox News for a second. I couldn't find it anywhere else. I feel like they were the only like platform streaming that shit.
Good. I'm happy it was only Fox that covered it, to be honest.
Yeah. Like I mean, like maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see it on like ABC or CBS or NBC, like any of like those mainstream media sites. And I put it on, and I was like, this shit, one, just looks embarrassing, and two, like I was just putting all the pieces together of like I mean, I try to like reason with it for like a half a second, because they put some clip on that, like, I don't know what president it was, but like we've done that shit before. Like we did some type of military parade for the army in the past. So like I was like, all right, maybe Trump is just bringing back some shit that we've done, done long ago as like some shit. But then like I just saw the tanks, and like it just seemed so unnecessary and so boring and so like weak that I was just like, no, don't try and convince yourself that this is a happy birthday for the army. Like,
he wanted it for his birthday. They did it on his fucking birthday.
So it was his birthday too, the same
day
as the...
Yes, he lied to try to cover it up to be like, oh, no, it's not about my birthday. It's celebrating 250 years of the U.S. military. But it's 100% about his birthday because he threw it on his fucking birthday.
Yeah,
But to your point, I was afraid it was going to look like really scary and really fascist. Like, I don't know if you've seen military parades in China and like North Korea and all.
Like they're like their legs, like the old German videos of their legs, like fucking
the goose stepping.
Yeah,
these motherfuckers are in perfect formation. They're rigid as fuck. Everybody's head is tilted at the exact same level.
Hear the
like
stomping,
shit looks scary. Shit looks efficient. You're like, damn, that's actually kind of wild. And I thought it was going to look like that. But low-key, I really sort of think that the soldiers themselves were saying fuck you to Trump. Because they were just walking on some normal shit. They were just like regular-ass walking, no formation. Most of the people didn't even do the fucking salute when they passed him.
Oh.
They just straight up walked by him. And then you had the creaky-ass tanks were fucking hilarious. They had these old tanks, and it's dead quiet in that bitch. And all you hear is... And then you see the bleachers. These were like VIP bleachers. Nobody was in those shits, dog. Those shits were like 70% empty. So actually, right now, my feeling towards it is like, I kind of like it now because it was hilarious that it was such a humiliation. At the same time, the rest of the country was all protesting Trump.
Yeah.
The rest of the country was, the No Kings protest was,
everywhere.
It was popping off. Bro, they had a No King shit where I was in small town America.
Yeah.
There was another one, another small town pretty close to us. They were having an anti-Trump protest too.
Yeah.
I was like, yo,
yeah.
This shit was huge. They said 5 million people showed up for the No Kings protest, but Trump's measly ass shit, I read 100,000 people. They expected 200,000. I read 100, which is like half what they wanted.
200,000 still low for that shit if that's what they were expecting.
But some people were saying to me like, dog, it wasn't even 100. It was like 10,000. It wasn't even 100,000. Because when you see the videos, it's like, yeah, where are I don't see no fucking 100,000 people in the clips. I see they had like long barricades that block people from, and you zoom across and like nobody's standing at this shit. Like nobody.
Yeah.
There were spots that were just empty. And it was logistically a mess too. That's the other thing. Some dude who does like concerts and events and has like done logistic shit before was like, yo, the whole shit was fucked up. They had big jugs of water, but no cups. They had everybody coming in some random side entrance. They had a main entrance, which everybody was supposed to go through, which nobody even knew about, so nobody was going through that bitch. They had a big-ass Jumbotron that was malfunctioning that half the shit, you couldn't even see what was on it. Like, the shit was just a fucking mess, bro. It was just a joke.
I've worked tons of events before, and it's, like, obviously on, like, the, like, 1/10 of a scale of whatever that shit was, and those shits are hard to like kind of organize and facilitate like arrivals and like, you know, where to escort people through and this and that. Like, this is something that like they're got to get tanks through, and they're blocking off streets because Trump is there and this and that. So yeah, I probably can like just envision that shit was a nightmare, and like TV screens not set up and properly like, you know, put together, and people manning stations aren't really giving a fuck because they're just volunteering, and like I doubt people are getting paid to like do shit there. I saw and I have this written down, is like supposedly on Craigslist they were paying seat fillers like $1,000 in crypto to go and like sit in seats for that shit, which is like,
yup,
it doesn't surprise me, man, because it's like they're desperate to do anything to just make it look like that shit is popping when it's not.
They just, like, he just keeps doing shit that makes everybody hate him. So, like, of course people are going to sort of... Bro, he's already at 38% approval rating.
Yeah.
There was a poll that just came out. Like, that is super fucking low. 38% is not, like... What are we talking about here? So, and he just keeps doing shit that makes everybody go, stop. Like, just stop. Just fucking stop this shit.
And I feel like, and this is just my eyes, but, like, I feel like in the past... he would still be, you know, witty on some type of shit, and like when he gets on stage, he'd say something funny that like you just laugh at, because by nature it's just so stupid that it makes you laugh. But now he's doing shit that it's like going Biden-esque, where he's like getting into that old age phase where it's like starting to not look good for him. Like I said, he tripped up the stairs going to the plane shit, and then there was that video of him. He's standing with Melania, and he's just like staring, and then like someone from the army walks up to him and whispers some shit, and he like nods, and then he turns like, I think he was just like, I think he's got some dementia type of shit kicking in too, where he's starting to like not even know where he is and losing his mind a little bit.
Which he said about Biden. Go ahead.
Which is to me a scarier phase of Trump than any of these other ones, because he could be at some point where he's like, let's just kill all of our people.
Bro, I don't know if you saw this, but right before we started recording this, he said, hold on, let me pull up the exact, I want to pull up the exact shit, because I'll read you the whole thing. It's not that long, but the last line is literally like bone-chilling fucking terrifying.
Oh.
So he said, Iran should have signed the deal I told them to sign. What a shame and a waste of human life. Simply stated, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. I said it over and over again. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. That's a city of over 10 million people, and it was 2 a.m. in Tehran when he said this. He told a city of over 10 million people, everybody should immediately evacuate. Like, what are you about to do, dog?
Yeah.
What? And by the way, by the time people watch this, they'll probably know what he was about to do. But right now, when we're talking, we don't know what he's about to do. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is, are you going to fucking nuke somebody? What are you going to do? Or are you going to do, like, a massive bombing raid over Tehran? Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you talking about?
I think he's going to do
And right now, there's bad signs, bro. There's, like, his National Security Council, he put together an emergency meeting with them. He's flying back. He's at a G7 meeting right now overseas. He left early and started flying back. Like, there's all these bad signs of, like, what are you guys about to do right now? Yeah. And it is, I'm just... Yeah, and to your point, he's saying crazy shit. Like, he said the other day, giving a speech, he said, Biden's not the sharpest bulb. Like, dog, that's not the saying is the brightest bulb. He's not the brightest bulb. Or he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Or knife in the kitchen. Like, how do you fuck that up? And then he said also about Gavin Newsom, he's like, he's doing a bad job. There's tremendous death in Los Angeles. Not a single fucking person died, homie. Not a single one died. Like, you're to your point. The reason he gets away with a lot of this shit is because since he's got the type of dementia where you get angry, you get loud and angry, and it still feels like there's confidence in what he's saying. Biden's got the type of dementia where he just looks confused all the time.
Yep, yep.
And that's easier to spot because you could see it in his eyes. You could see the bro, you don't even know where you are right now.
Yeah.
But to Trump, he just gets louder and more obnoxious and more angry. But to your point, and I've always said this about Trump, if you read an interview with him, read it. Don't watch him talk. Just read it. You'd be like, something's wrong with this guy. Because it's like sentence fragment after sentence fragment. He starts wandering off into the wilderness and he doesn't get back to the main point he was trying to make. None of it makes fucking sense. And like, yeah, now we're seeing what it's like to have this guy fucking run the country. And it's terrifying.
So I don't know if it was Bill Burr or Michael Che actually opened up for Bill Burr last night, which was super dope. But they made a funny ass point, and they were saying that like Donald Trump would make a phenomenal kindergarten teacher, like more than like, you know, if Biden was the teacher, people would be like, this guy's old and mad boring. He was like, Kamala Harris should like, I feel like she should have a whistle around her neck because she gives off like assistant principal vibes. She was like, but Trump would make such a perfect kindergarten teacher where he just comes into the classroom and he's like, you guys want to meet Kid Rock? And everybody just starts going crazy. But like, it's so, it's to a point where it's like he's at his old age. He realizes like this is a wrap for him. So like, let me go out with a bang and do some shit that like there is no next president. And it's not going to be me. It's going to be because the world is about to be over, because we're going to drop a nuke on someone and then someone's going to hit us with a nuke and it's about to be a wrap. Like, it's scary to think that like, it's not even a joke to like think that like the world could almost be over soon because of all the shit that like Trump is setting us up for right now. And that's like wild.
So are you sensing, because you had the perfect spidey senses, normie senses during the election, where you were able to pick up on shit that my nerdy ass was not able to pick up on. Is your senses right now that like everybody's sort of not fucking with this now?
I still think there's a big, like, I think we've swayed as a society where a lot, like, we're relying obviously a lot more on people who work for themselves, whether that's like people that just come and fix your house and like some contractor type role shit. And all of those people, whether it's like a business owner for a restaurant or a bakery or like a construction company, I feel like those people are still a heavy pocket of people that fuck with Trump heavy. And those people are usually like super confident, super like, you know, swaying in their arguments. And like, they're the type of people I personally know that like, I don't want to ruff feathers with them, even on some conversation shit where I'm like, yo, you're wrong about that shit, dude. And he's like actually fucking up a lot of shit. And there's people that don't have jobs. So I feel like their voice is still powerful and loud enough to kind of control a narrative to make Trump look a little bit favorable. But it's not until like the US gets attacked or some shit or something happens in a major city, like outside of LA, because that shit seems to be a small pocket. And I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying more or less, but I think he still has like a base that I don't think the tide has really turned on him completely where people are not fucking with him. Like, I still think he's like, his word resonates with some people like pretty good.
So what I always say is his floor is anywhere between 26% and 33% of the country. That's the percentage that's never going to abandon him. And I got those numbers from a poll where they asked, should the United States steal Greenland?
Yeah.
And one poll said 26%, one poll said 33% said yes. And so I was like, those people are too fucking, they're mentally just gone. So we're never going to get those back. But the polls I've seen recently have him at 38% and 39% were the two most recent polls. So like, we're sort of getting close.
We're getting close.
Top end of the floor, the top end being 33%, the low end being 26%. So the sense that I get is shit is definitely it's definitely changing. There's not like to your point, like there's not really a charm anymore to his boisterousness and his, you know, he says something fucked up.
I don't think there's a charm, but I think we're almost at the tail end that you're starting to see people realize it's the tail end and like, unfortunately, and this sucks, but like sad and scary shit is happening. Like that Minnesota shit is like, I think Trump supporters getting to their wits end and they're like, we got to do some crazy shit now because we're starting to feel that like it could be over. And
yeah, but don't you feel like that's a sign though that like so there's a MAGA guy that does a terror attack and kills Democrats.
yeah,
And then I go on Twitter and I see every right-wing asshole account is lying and saying it's a Democrat that did it.
yeah,
And then you have a Republican senator joking about these people getting killed. Don't you think that is for like normies in the country that they're sort of like, hey, that's way too fucking far.
yeah.
Do you get that sense?
Yes, yeah, I do. And that's why I think we're at the tail end of it, but I just hope no more like bad shit like that really happens because yeah, I agree with you. I think we are at the tail end of it, but at the end of it, we still have what is it, 3 more years of this fucking guy. So it's like there's nothing we can do, like, and he's not going to change. So it's like we got to fucking ride this wave all together for 3 years. Like we're not all going to be singing Kumbaya and like going to be like overturning Trump. Like he's there for 3 more years, whether we like him or not, So like we're fucked either way.
But that's the thing is like in the first term and with any other president, you get these waves, right? Like they'll be popular for a little bit and then people will sort of turn on them a little bit.
Okay.
And then nice. And then they'll get popular again. Like it'll be the approval rating will be like this. It'll go like straight and then down and then like up a little bit and then down. Like it's comes in waves, right? With Trump this time, he's only been in there not even half a year, dog. It's been 5 months. And it's only gone down. And then the way he's acting, like every day it's some new shit where you're like, fucking really, bro? Really? I'm going to send the National Guard into California and steal them from Gavin Newsom. Then I'm going to send the Marines into California. And I'm going to deport this innocent person to El Salvador. And now we're going to do war with Iran. And it now is a MAGA terror attack. And nobody fucking gives a fuck on the right. And they act like it didn't happen or they say a Democrat did it. Like, how much more of this? I feel like I don't know how this can go on for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels like we're only going down. The trajectory of the country is down. His approval rating is going down. And now you're seeing signs of life among the resistance and that, regular people are out in the streets like, fuck this motherfucker, right? And it's like, how do we get through 4 fucking years of this without, to your point, something just flat out breaking? Like something totally, like the U.S. economy just breaking, no fucking Great Depression, 20% unemployment, like total fucking chaos, or some major war, to your point, where like shit just spirals out of control like we're kind of seeing already. Like, I don't know how this goes on. It feels like it can't fucking go on. It's not like the first term. In the first term, he had some people around him who were, like, reeling him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Who would be like, nah, let's not do that.
People were hoping that Ivanka...
Susie Wiles.
Well, no, like, Ivanka was going to, like, be the voice of reason to, like, get him to, like... I don't even know what she's doing anymore. Like, she's
out of it. She's out of it. She's not in the administration. She's doing her own thing.
Oh, so...
She's never been in it this time. It's all like that's what I'm saying is everybody around him this time are true fucking cult in the cult. Like everybody. And last time you still had some people who were like, nah, don't do this, don't do that, let's steer it this way. And now it's like it's a fucking nightmare. Like he's surrounded by yes men and he's psycho. Like any impulse he has, like for him to tweet that Tehran needs to fucking be evacuated. Like, are you crazy? And by the way, I said it's a city of over 10 million people.
Yeah.
The traffic is absurd. People listened and they're trying to leave, but there's also a gas shortage because Israel bombed the gas. So now they can't even fill their cars up and they're stuck in on the highway. They got nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like what? Like how does this shit keep going, dog? I don't understand it.
What was the reason
understand.
for Israel even bombing them? Like like it was just on some
Netanyahu.
shit.
So Netanyahu, who's the leader of Israel, the prime minister of Israel, and he's been for a very long time. He's been in and out, but he's been in for a while now. He, going back all the way to the 1990s,
damn,
he's had a hard-on to overthrow Iran.
Just for because the fuck of it?
Because Iran is the only country in the region that is a true rival power. So every other country in the region, except Iran and its proxies, they're all basically beholden to the U.S. So like Saudi Arabia is basically beholden to the U.S. The Arab Gulf countries are basically beholden to the U.S. So they feel like, we could work with them. But Iran is not beholden to the U.S. They do their own thing. And Netanyahu has always wanted to overthrow them. And he's been saying forever, since the 1990s, there's videos of him saying, Iran's going to get a nuke within 2 months. Iran's going to get a nuke within 2 months. And they never fucking got a nuke. And they never did shit. This time, since he can fucking manhandle Trump and, like, manipulate him. He told Trump, like, hey, green light our attack on Iran. And after we attack them, I bet you'll be able to get the deal that you want. Like, us attacking them will make them more likely to want to do a deal. And so Trump greenlit it.
Deal with Iran?
Well, that's the thing is Trump, they convinced him, if you let us attack Iran, then after we attack them, they'll be willing to do a deal with you. This is what they said to Trump. And Trump was like, okay, go ahead. And then, of course, after you fucking attack them, they're just going to attack you back, which is exactly what happened.
Oh.
So basically, Netanyahu's getting his wish, and now he's trying to get Trump to go further in that, like, send U.S. boots on the ground, send U.S. planes to bomb Iran. Like, this is total fucking nightmare scenario now, bro. And it's also, I mean, think about Iran's counterattacks. They were bombing fucking Tel Aviv. That's a city in Israel that there's never really war there.
Yeah.
For decades, there has been, like, the war is usually, when you think of Israel and you think of the war, you think of Gaza, you think of the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
This is Tel Aviv. That shit is not even near Gaza.
Yeah.
And so now they're getting bombed. So Israel had some of their power plant got hit, the equivalent of their Pentagon got hit, their oil and gas got hit. And of course, so now it's like, it's all bets are off, bro. And then the other thing is, they're not letting the civilians in Israel leave, dog. Netanyahu shut down any civilians from fleeing Israel now. So if you're an Israeli and you're trying to leave, he won't let you.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, this shit is, like, it's literally hell on earth we're witnessing unfold right now. And it's all because these motherfuckers are crazy, dog. They're crazy. And they're not, like, people are not going to buy their bullshit this time. Like, when Bush did the war in Iraq, he had to do 2 years of nonstop propaganda, lying to Americans and saying Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, he worked with Osama bin Laden on 9/11, and he's going to attack us. That's what he said over and over and over and over, and people were like, okay, I mean, if that's true, that's kind of bad. But with Trump and Netanyahu, these motherfuckers just, like, on a random Tuesday were like, let's launch a new war.
Yeah.
And they didn't make an argument. They didn't do any propaganda. There was no buildup, no nothing. And now they're in it, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, that shit is, I forgot where I was, but I was sitting somewhere and some guy just pulled out his phone. It was like Yahoo News. And he was like, oh shit, this is a new one. And like showed me like Israel bombing Iran. I was like, wow, when did that, like that's just like going to school and just randomly punching someone in the face. It's like, I didn't expect that to happen. And then like,
exactly. And Obama had solved this problem. Like, that's the thing is, like, remember Obama did a nuclear deal with Iran, right? And that whole deal was like, you're never going to build nukes, but we're going to lift the sanctions on you. We're going to give you back your own money. And then Trump pulled out of that deal for no reason. The shit was working perfectly. 12 times the UN went in there and said they're abiding by the deal. Everything's good. And Trump pulled out of it just to spite Obama. If he just never pulled out of that shit, there's no problem at all, dog. Everything is fucking peachy.
Yeah, that's one that like I don't know enough, but like it caught me off guard, and now it just seems like I don't even know what the fuck's happening. Like our government, like Rubio's like Trump didn't know about this shit, and then Trump literally like 20 minutes later is like, "Yo, I know
about it."
Shit. Like,
yeah.
like
I greenlit it. No, we know he knew about it because they pulled
like,
our troops out of the region. Yeah, he pulled our troops. We have bases around there, and the day before the attack, Trump pulled all the troops out of there. And so that was a sign. In fact, me and Crystal did a breaking news video where we said an attack on Iran is imminent because that's the only reason they do that. And then a day later, boom, the attack came. So of course he fucking knew about that shit. Of course he fucking knew.
Yeah. Yes, that's a wild one. But going back to the parade shit, so like is there any, so they spent mad money on it. The shit was a dud. And like, so were you in DC at the time when it was going on? Did anything get blocked off like in your area or anything?
No, so the parade was on a Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
Was it Saturday or Sunday? It was Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah,
I don't remember
maybe
which.
Sunday. I feel like it was a Sunday.
But so we're not in DC on those days.
Okay.
But the next day, the parade was on Saturday. Oh yeah, it was on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I looked. I was watching some like local news bullshit. It was just happened to be on, and they were saying the roads are still shut down. A bunch of roads are still shut down. And that night is the night we had to get into DC. And so I was going, oh, motherfucker. But thankfully, our particular route that we use was not any of the shit that was shut down. And we left kind of late so that we got away with it. But they had that bit shut down for like 2 or 3 days. just fucking up the whole traffic flow in the city.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't imagine. So I've worked in downtown Chicago. I worked in downtown New York City. I've been to like downtown LA and shit like that. And if you don't work for like the government or some shit in DC, why the fuck would someone want to live in DC? I feel like it's got to be so
They don't.
impossible to get around anywhere on any random day. Because like, if the president's in town, if he's not in town, like I've been in New York City where they've shut down street. Well, I've been in Chicago where they shut down a highway an hour outside the city because Trump was just on the highway, and I was like, I can't even get on the exit. I can't imagine living in DC trying to get around some shit when fucking Trump is just in town. It's got to be like
Motorcade.
nightmare.
We got stuck in one of those one time.
It's
or
the
actually probably
worst.
at least twice we got stuck in a motorcade where they just totally stop traffic. You're sitting there for 30 fucking minutes while the shit rolls by.
It's horrible.
But believe it or not, that's the worst part. So the only parts of DC that really have traffic, the highway has traffic sometimes, obviously.
Yeah.
And when you get caught in a motorcade shit, that creates traffic. But outside of that, it's actually normally good. The traffic's not bad because, to your point, most of the people who are here, like, are only the people that have to be here. It's only like people who work the government jobs, and like normally there's not that many people here. In fact, certain days if you come in on the weekend, nobody's fucking here. Like nobody's anywhere. And so it's kind of a weird city in that respect, that you would think the traffic will be worse than it actually is. The only place that's really bad is the highway, and if you happen to get caught in a motorcade shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like if I live in downtown DC and I work at like a Jimmy John's or some shit, and I'm just trying to get there on like every Tuesday, and the president like does some like briefing every Tuesday, and like I can't get to my job because every road is like, I've gotten caught in those shutdowns for like presidents arriving and driving and stuff like that, and then I've been walking on the streets in New York City where they've closed down streets. It's OD and a little unnecessary how many cars they have for that shit. And it's like,
I know
the president could be in like the 17th car. There's like 7 ambulances. There's police cars. I'm like, you could probably just have 2 ambulances. Like, why do you even need multiple of those shits? It's kind of unnecessary.
I know. It really is sort of over the top. And I remember the few times we got stuck in the, waiting for the motorcade, it was like, I was just furious. I was like, yo, if I was 5 minutes earlier, like, we would have been fine. And instead, you're sitting there for 30 fucking minutes. It's the worst fucking thing ever. And like you said, you're like, this is so unnecessary. You're fucking up the lives of like thousands of people because this asshole wants to go to the golf course or some shit. Like, fuck him.
It's kind of I've been also in the city when they have the UN meetings or whatever, and they block off like every single street. I'm like, with all due respect, like the president of Uganda or some shit, like I wouldn't know who the fuck he is if he was just walking right next to me. So let that dude just have like 2 security guards kind of like just to the left and right of him. Maybe you could put 4. You could do like front, north, out, northeast, southwest, but like I don't know what any of these dudes look like. So you don't gotta block off streets and then ask me for ID on like what building I'm going to because like some president of some fucking South American country is here. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah, and usually it's not even, most of the time it's just the ambassadors. It's not even the fucking like presidents that are here. And like nobody knows the presidents, and definitely nobody knows. I cover politics for a living. Damn, did I just lose you? I think I just lost you. But anyway, if you guys hear me, I cover politics for a living, and I don't even know who these fucking people are. So you can imagine a normal person, like, Moldova fucking ambassador. Damn, you back?
Yeah,
You went away there for a
I
second.
moved my leg and it cut off a whole shit.
Did you hear what I was saying, though?
Yeah, that no, I didn't.
Okay, I was saying that I cover politics for a living, and I don't know a lot of these motherfuckers. Like, it's one thing, if the presidents are there, to your point, bunch of security guards, totally get it. But when you're talking about the ambassadors, bro, I 100% don't know any of the ambassadors, and fucking nobody does. And to the presidents, like, even those, like, I know more than your average person does about the leaders of the different countries, but even I, for a majority of the countries, would be like, who are we talking about here? So yeah, it's definitely over the top.
Well, there's also like, I'm always confused by like diplomats when they have like diplomatic immunity and they have some license plate and they're like they get special treatment and like I don't know. It's just there's a lot of tiers of fucking people that are important and make a lot of money that don't seem to be important and shouldn't be making a lot of money because like it seems
It's
unnecessary.
also it's really funny when you're viewed as so important that they changed like what your title is. So like me and you are like, you know, Mr. Corin Chesterton, Mr. Kyle Colinski,
Yep.
you know? Like that's how we're but if you're a doctor, you're no longer a mister. You're a Dr. Steve Jacobson. You know what I'm saying? And they do that for senator. You're Senator Bernie Sanders. And like it's just funny that they decided cuz like if you really think about it, there's a lot of shit that's probably like super duper important that they don't get like teachers don't get a special title. Teachers are so important. They like shape the fucking future. You know, they mold the minds of the kids for the next generation. Like why should
your car wouldn't be good if you didn't have a mechanic. Like that dude should be like a like
try living without a mechanic, dog. Try living without the dude that puts your air conditioner in and fixes that bitch. Like these shits are all important. Try living without a garbage man. Your fucking garbage piling up, rats coming through, people getting sick and shit. Like, everything is sort of important enough to... So, either call everybody Mr. and Mrs., or just fucking, like, give everybody their own shit. But don't give me this weird, like, nah, you're not important enough, but that dude is. Like, nah, fuck that dude.
That's a good-ass... Like, imagine there was some title for a garbage man. Because to your point, yeah, like, it would be fucked up if a doctor, I mean, but a doctor could do a garbage man's work. A garbage man can't really do a doctor's work. So like,
yeah, but the point is, somebody's got to do that shit. Like, if nobody does that shit, society breaks down all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you don't have the same skill set, and you didn't have to go to school for like 8 years to figure out how to do the shit. That's all true. But it's also true. If we take away all the doctors, society's cooked. If we take away all the garbage men, society's cooked. Like, we're just cooked. You know what I'm saying? So, like, in a sense, it is kind of just as important. That's why the whole idea of, like, unskilled labor is such a fucking myth. Because everybody, like, every single shit that somebody does, like, that shit requires some amount of knowledge, some amount of experience, some amount of, like, unique problem-solving abilities. Like, even if you're just working a fucking cash register, like, you probably worked at that spot for a hot minute. You know all the specifics of that place. You know all the weird little peccadillos about this thing doesn't work, but this thing does work. Oh, you're having a problem ringing that up? Don't worry. I know how to fix that shit. I'll do it the right way. Like, there's no such thing as unskilled labor. Everything is fucking skilled. Imagine being one of these people, these, like, immigrants from Mexico or something, and your work, it's South Florida. The feels like temperature is 103 degrees in that bitch, and you're out in a field. If you're out in a field picking tomatoes all day, tell me that shit is not a unique, really difficult skill set to not fucking drop dead from dehydration and overheating. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Let's call garbage men. Like, yeah, I don't know. They get crowned as some shit of importance.
So there's Mr. Mr. is MR, right?
I never understood
TR,
so Scotty had to do a card for her teacher, and she's MRS, but she was like, Nix was like, no, it's MISS, and I for the life of me didn't know, and I feel like it's a little unnecessary the differences between the MS. And the
it is. I can break it down.
You
for
know,
you, I agree with you. It is unnecessary, but I'll break it down for you. So there's MS, which is Miss. Yep. That's for a woman who's not married.
Okay.
And then Mrs. is MRS, and that's for a woman who's married.
Okay.
And so the Mr. is there to sort of indicate I'm married to this guy, so it's Mrs. MRS. So that's the difference. There's MS and there's MRS. That's the main difference. Those are the main two ones for women. But to your point, like
there's also MISS, right? Or is that a made up shit?
I think that's just the formal spelling of Miss.
Oh, okay.
Like that's just like, hey, spell out the whole shit, but everybody abbreviates it MS. You know what I'm saying?
I know people think I'm dumb on this show, but that one made me feel dumb.
But then there's also like they got rid. Did you know? Like now we always said waiter and waitress, but now they say everybody's a waiter. Like they got rid of waitress.
Oh, they did that with like actors and actresses, like
actor and actress. Yeah, they said no more actress. Just call everybody an actor. Yeah. So it was gendered, and now they're moving away from it being gendered. And it's interesting because some languages, every single thing is gendered, and some languages, like, nothing is gendered. And we're in this weird middle place where, like, we gender some things and don't gender other things. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying?
feel like in
But yeah, that was one of the changes that
in
happened.
I feel like the whole Spanish language, like the first thing that comes to my mind is like abuela, which is I think like grandma or
I think that's
or
grandma. Yeah,
grandparents or some shit. But there's words that like end in a or o.
yeah, abuela,
Yeah, like
abuelo. That's
yeah, yeah,
grandpa and
yeah.
grandma,
There you go.
right?
Like, and that would you can't change the whole Spanish language and just be like they're just abuelis now or some shit. Like,
Yeah,
like
right. That's what I'm saying. Some languages, every single thing is gendered,
yeah,
you know, and others it's not. And for us, we're in a weird place where some are and some aren't. But that was an attempt to sort of de-genderify actor and
yeah.
actress,
That's
which is kind of
very
strange because I never, if you say this person's an actress or this person's a waitress, I mean, it's not
no.
derogatory. You know what I'm
You
saying? Like, I don't know why people would say like, no, but I want to be actor or not actress. It's like it's the same
yeah,
shit, you
yeah.
know?
All right. So I have a whole list of shit that I wanted to kind of uh ask you. And I was like gonna try and follow this format of like a list I made and then a chat GPT list from last week and then a poll, but I couldn't really find a poll, but I found some chat GPT shit. But here's my list. I wanted to ask you first, and I don't know if we discussed this, but maybe we discussed it on chat, but this one hurts me a little bit. But is Lil Wayne washed? Did we speak about that last week?
So I didn't listen to the whole
Uh,
album, but I listened to most of
yeah,
the album.
same.
And so my take on it is the same as the YouTuber No Life Shack.
What he say?
So anybody who's
Shout out to Doc.
curious about whether or not Lil Wayne is washed, go listen to No Life Shack's video. He did a whole breakdown of
What type of channel
the
is he?
whole
Is he
album.
like a music?
He's a he's a music reactor. Like he reacts to
Okay.
music shit like right when it comes out. So I think there were maybe 2 songs on the album that were genuinely good that I liked a
Hmm.
lot. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
3 might be a little bit of a stretch, but definitely 2 that I thought were good. And they came early in the album. And then as that bitch went on, oh man, did it fall off a cliff. Like all he had to do was keep the same energy he had for the first bunch of
Yep.
songs. And I'd be out here still saying Wayne's the GOAT, he's my boy, yada yada. But at this point, yeah, he's kind of washed. Which pains me to say, but clearly he did. You remember when Snoop Dogg was like, I do reggae
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And he started like doing reggae
Yeah.
for a year or two, and then he was like, nah, fuck, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, good thing he backed away from that because he was so washed when he did that. And it was the same shit for Wayne. He took a lot of risks in this album. That song with the fucking elephant noise in the
I don't even know
background
what else
is
song
like,
that is, but like that shit
bro,
sounds crazy.
bro, this shit was trash. It was like a there was like
I
an
think I
elephant
do
noise in the
know that
background.
song.
And the flow wasn't even good either.
Uh,
Like he's always gonna come with like the amazing puns and
yep.
punchlines and wordplay and shit. Like he always does that. But yeah, in terms of making a banger, like there wasn't a single hit in that bitch. I like two of the songs probably, but the rest of them, like early on, it was like this is good, and then as it went on, it was like oh no, oh God, Wayne, no, oh. So yeah, he is kind of
Damn.
washed now, which pains me to say because he's still in my goat list.
Yeah.
He's still in my goat list for
That's
sure.
what kind of, and I don't know. I kind of was in the same train of thought where in the beginning, I listened to a couple in the front end of the album, and I was like, um, I like these. And then as it went on, I was like, whoa, what happened here? But as I listened to it more, it's kind of grown on me a little bit more that I'm starting to like some more of the songs. Some of the songs are horrifically bad. Um, but his whole thing, and I hope this like, and I think he's done this his whole career, but he just samples good ass songs and the beat is mad good. And then I'm like, yo, this is dope. And then someone will just be like, that's like one of the most famous songs ever, right? And like he just gets like the band from New Orleans is a song that was like one of the hottest songs back in the day. I forgot, like I used to know what it was, but he just stole the whole beat, and it was like anyone could get on that beat and make it sound good. So like he did a couple of that with the songs that I like, and then I look back and those were songs that were like very popular, whatever their original was. So I'm kind of mad at that. And then another reason to kind of prove your point.
Everybody does that though. That's the
eh,
thing. You can't really go after him for that because it's so universal
I
in
know,
music now.
but
You
like
know?
he takes like bangers. Like I feel like old school Kanye or like other people would take songs that were kind of under the radar that didn't get the right amount of love and find like a beat. No, you think everyone
Nah,
just finds
dog. I'm
bangers?
telling you, everybody does that. Like when you sent me that Big X the Plug
Yeah,
song
yeah,
that I
yeah.
like. There's a bunch of them that I fuck with. I like Big X the Plug a lot. I'm happy that you brought him to my attention. I really think he's good. I got a bunch of his songs in my phone now. But one of the shits he does is the song
Yeah.
Contagious with Ron Isley and R. Kelly. And the song Contagious has always been a banger that I've always fucking loved. He took the beat on that shit and made a dope rap song. But if somebody didn't even know that's from Contagious, they think, yo, this dude fucking freaked it on the beat and with the rap. And in reality, he just freaked it with the rap because he took the beat. So it's so common that people just steal. Like, I can't even hold that against somebody anymore because it's like everybody's doing that shit.
I guess so. But to your point, this is what kind of makes me think that he even knows that he fucked up on this album is if you refresh your iTunes or Apple Music, he's added bonus tracks. Like he's added like 6 bonus tracks. So I think he's trying to like make up for old shit. Like he added some song with Nicki Minaj. Like he's adding shit knowing that people were shitting on it. So he's like, damn, I got to just keep dropping shit. And it's almost to a point where it's like when you do a painting and you fuck something up and you try and correct it and you keep like correcting it so much and you keep fucking it up more. Or it's like, yo, at some point take the L and just stop putting new music on there because like you got to just take the L on this album. So I think the consensus is I don't think he's washed, but I think he's getting to a spot where it's like, yo, almost just be an advisor to new rappers or something like that.
That's funny because my instinct was actually to disagree when they add new songs because I didn't know that this was a thing, but Chris Brown did it all the time. And some of the songs that he released they call it the deluxe album, like it's some extra shit that they add onto the album. And some of his biggest bangers in the recent albums came from that shit. And so that made me feel like I sort of like this trend. But to your point, since everybody was shitting on Wayne's album, it does feel like, oh, he's trying to make up for it by like, oh, you guys like this one? Like, here's some shit you might actually rock with. Because it's interesting, right? Because for an artist, it's like you want to release something that's true to yourself. But at the same time, if that Elephant song was true to himself, don't release that shit. Like, you need to have a little bit more concern.
Like, yo, this shit's whack, bro. Like, I don't think...
Yeah, like, it's gotta be true to yourself, and it's gotta be potential for a banger. Like, it can't just be, like, I like the sound of the elephant noise. Like, dog, you can't, like, why not put a fart noise on your track? Like, that is not gonna hit.
That could be on his next album. That could be the Carter 7.
I know. But you can't just take some non-musical shit and pretend like it's musical. Like, elephant noise is just not some musical shit.
I've seen, and I won't say this DJ's name, but he was a cool dude. All right, well, he was the DJ for like Justin Timberlake, and he had a viral video where he turned his razor on, and it was like zzz, and like he like turned it off and turned it back on, and he made the video he said went viral, but he turned that sound into a beat, and it's like there's some shit that like maybe you don't need to turn it into a beat.
Yeah, you can't. Or if you do some weird shit, you gotta temper it with some not weird shit. Like, they did that shit in the 2000s. Remember when every single track had the baby sound on it? Remember the Aaliyah track with the baby noise in the back?
No,
like the crying baby type shit. Oh, bro, that shit was... So many songs had that, like, a baby...
Like, oh, yeah, that's that.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. Like a goo-goo gaga-ass baby noise in the background.
I didn't know that was a fucking thing.
But... the shit that they did is, like, they would put a little bit of that in that shit, but then they'd pair it with just what would normally be a dope-ass beat on its own. And they were able to make that work because you had some normal shit with the wacky shit. But if you just keep having an elephant noise in what's otherwise a whack beat, even without the elephant noise, then that shit is gonna fail miserably, and that's what happened with Wayne.
Yeah, that's the thing with like these soundboards and like people trying to be creative now is like, and like the whole fucking like ASR community, like you could take a sound from anything and think you're being creative, but like back to going to the point of there's an audience for everything. There's gonna be people out there that fuck with elephant like noises, and like they're gonna be like,
I haven't seen them if they were out there. Every reactor I watched was like, bro, what is this shit? What is this shit?
All right, so that's Wayne. All right, this is going back to the military parade shit. I wanted to ask your opinion because we used to do this shit when we were in I feel like elementary school, and it's kind of like on some North Korea shit, but like how the teacher and like it was a requirement to do the Pledge of Allegiance, like how we had to stand up and like
Fuck
put
that.
our hand over our heart, say that shit. And then another point that Molly kind of pointed out was Nick's had a school assembly and they had to remember This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land song. And I feel like I even remember singing that shit. And she was like, it's kind of weird that they're singing this and just the tone deafness of like, I mean, like it's a school requirement, I guess, but like to sing that shit literally
As they're mass
mass
deporting
deporting
people.
people in
Yeah.
ICE is like the number
Yeah.
one news story. And these kids are sitting there in red, white, and blue outfits singing This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land from California is one of the lines. So like I don't know who decides this shit, but like the Pledge of Allegiance got to stop, and they also got to stop singing "This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land."
Yeah, so the "this land is your land, this land is my land" thing, that is, I feel like, the school district trying to do the right thing and trying to instill the right values
Yeah.
in the kids so that they feel like you got to be welcoming of everybody and you got to believe in equality and all that shit. So I kind of get that. Like, I feel like just teaching those basic ass values from when we were kids of like treat everybody equally, everybody's equal under the law. You should be an honest person. You should care about like, you know, empathy and looking after everybody, yada yada. So like, I kind of support that. I get where it's coming from, but it is massively ironic that now we have a president who's doing the fucking polar opposite of that shit, and they got to sing that shit. But to the Pledge of Allegiance shit, I fucking could not agree more, man. Because, like, here's the thing: if you want me to be patriotic, bitch, you got to give me a reason to be patriotic. You can't just be like, shut the fuck up and love the country. And it's like, bro, what am I witnessing right now? I'm witnessing you guys round up innocent people and send them to El Salvador to put people in a concentration camp. I'm witnessing you send the Marines to Los Angeles over a couple fucking protesters that are out there. I'm witnessing you start another fucking war in the Middle East right in front of our eyes. Like, if you want me to be patriotic, you have to give me a reason to feel like, yo, bro, I love it. You want to make me patriotic? Give everybody health care. Like, pass Medicare for all tomorrow. Hey, nobody's going to go bankrupt anymore for medical bills. Everybody's good. You're taken care of. Do Social Security for all. Everybody gets a Social Security check now, not just old people. Like, we got that, bitch. We're going to cut the military budget and give people a Social Security check. You got to give me a reason. Yeah. You can't just say, love the country and don't ask questions and shut the fuck up about it. And that's what patriotism becomes to a lot of people, is that they're just like, you just got to blindly love the country. And it's like, okay, but when was the last time I could say, like, I was proud of that shit, right? Like, how far back do I have to go for some official ass action where I'm like, yo, I respect that? Probably like Obama. That's when the president was getting his dick sucked. So yeah, of course. No, but like maybe the Iran deal with Obama, or like when he normalized relations with Cuba, like you got to go back. Like you can't to just be coasting off of like when we had the civil rights movement and like then, you know, we gave everybody equal rights and voting rights and like that was some dope shit. But you got to go all the way back to the fucking 1960s to have some shit that makes me go, yo, that's what's up. Like I respect the shit out of what my country did there. That's a you problem. That's a you problem. So like I'm not against patriotism, but you got to give me a reason to be you can't just do some bullshit 24/7 and then act like shut the fuck up and love me. Like no, that's an abusive relationship right there, you know?
Yeah. And just quickly speaking on that, I saw Tyler Hero, you know, on the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. He said he didn't, and they didn't know if he was joking or not, but he was on a live stream and he said he doesn't believe anything, any history that happened before 1950. He doesn't believe.
That's kind of funny. That's like when Kyrie was like, I believe in flat Earth. Remember when he was like flirting with flat Earth theory?
Yeah. Because he was talking about the Will Chamberlain 100-point game. And there's like no.
To be fair, he's not wrong about this. He's not wrong about this. There's reason to believe that shit was not real.
Yeah, that's what he was. I mean, I don't know if he was making that point, but there's no video evidence I think of that game, and there's just that like photo of him holding up that 100. You know, so like literally, he could have been in the locker room, and his boy was just like, "Yo, put 100 on that shit," and like that's just the history that we have is just that photo. So like anybody fucking around could do something funny, and then we just take it. For like, yeah, he must have scored 100 points that game.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like there's a point in what he's saying that's sort of true, and this happens throughout history, right? Is like whoever like wins the war gets to write the history. You know what I'm saying? And so like So shit is gonna be skewed as a motherfucker to like that
True.
perspective. And the Will Chamberlain game, that's a sort of a good point, because I saw there are conspiracies around that game where there's no fucking video of it. Like, there's a whole bunch of little facts about it that you're like, damn, that's sort of curious, isn't it? So, like, he's not wrong. He just takes it maybe a little bit too far to say, I don't believe anything before 1950. That's a little too much.
What else do I have on my list? All right, so going back to before we went to the comedy show, we tried this like Chinese noodle spot, and we ate most of our shit. And then at the end, there was probably like 2 more scoops of noodles, and one of these little fruit fly shits like flew right into the plate. Are you like, it didn't really touch any of the noodles, but it was on the plate. Are you scooping that out and eating the rest of your noodles, or are you sending that shit back?
If it did, I never send any food back.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
number one.
yeah.
So the question is, am I going to eat it or am I
Yeah.
not going to eat it? If it didn't touch the noodles, yes, I'm
You're
going
just
to eat
gonna
it.
flick it out.
But if it did touch the noodles, or if some gross shit did touch my food, my answer is it depends completely on my mood and how hungry I am, right? Like, if I'm really dying hungry and some gross shit happens, I will overlook it and continue eating. But if I'm not all that hungry and the meal is sort of mid and that happens, I will be like, you know what? I'm not finishing this
that
shit.
was my mood. Because first off, this place, and I don't even remember the name of it, but the photos they put up on their like Google search or whatever looked like it was the most banging noodles. Like, they must have like had the camera zoomed in on the noodles, so it looked like you were getting a plate full of like some. I thought it was gonna be like lo mein type noodles where it was like thick and had like that brown fucking banging at. Like, you ever have a noodle and the shit is sort of like crunchy? Like, best type of fucking noodle. I thought I was gonna get that. Noodles was whack. It was kind of cold, and then the chicken that was with it was just like some unflavorful ass chicken. So like the shit was cold as is. So to your point, I was going into like my last couple bites already, like fuck this meal. And when that happened, I kind of was like, nah, it's a wrap on it.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. No, I get that. Have you ever had Korean barbecue?
No,
that shit
but I'm
would
like
blow your
intrigued
mind.
by that shit, but also kind of like,
Oh, it would blow your mind.
also like you got to cook your own shit. So it's kind of like that, like, what the fuck?
No, you're on that point. I'm 100% with you. Whenever you go to a Mexican spot and they make you make your own fajitas, I'm always like, no, you make my, like, why the fuck I got to make my own shit? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. So I agree with you on that. But if you go with Molly and Molly does all that shit, you will enjoy the shit.
Molly's
out
gonna
of
listen and be
fucking
like,
Korean
why do
barbecue.
I gotta cook all that shit?
I'm just saying that, like, let's be serious. We know who wears the pants and who calls all the shots, dog. That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's the same for me. Like,
Facts.
There's so much shit that I don't do that Crystal's like, all right, I'll fucking do.
I
You know what I'm
would,
saying?
fuck it up
And
too. Like, she would probably cook it correctly to the point where it needs to be
Correct.
like, there's this Costco.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Is that, like, you'll fuck it up, I'll fuck it up. Everybody knows we'll fuck it up. Molly knows I'll fuck it up. Crystal knows I'll fuck it up. You know that. Everybody knows that. So they're just like, I'll just do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's delicious. It's the best fucking, like, the meat, is delicious, dog. It is so good. The flavor is amazing.
It's almost like going to hibachi and them just being like, yeah, there's no chef. Like, you got to get behind and just like cook your whole shit. And it's like, no, this shit's one, dumb expensive, and two, like, I'm gonna like fucking burn all this shit, and it's not gonna taste like how it's supposed to taste. Like, do they give you a step by step of like how you even do this shit? Because I almost feel like you sit down and it's on some like campfire shit where it's just like, yo, here's your food, figure it out.
I think it is sort of the Wild West. It is sort of the Wild West.
Crazy, like, fucking restaurant concept where it's just like, yo, we're gonna open up like that's actually a genius ass. Why don't we open up a restaurant where you just do s'mores, but it's like Korean barbecue, but it's for s'mores.
But you got to do it yourself. But I guarantee you that restaurant would burn down within a year, dog. Somebody would burn that bitch. But then we just get the insurance money. So
I'm surprised. I was always curious at hibachi places how many times like they get sued. I can't imagine how many times a Korean barbecue spot gets sued by people like just being dumb.
Somebody touching the stove,
touching the shit.
Totally.
All right, what else do I got on my shit? Oh, so we went to the comedy show. One, Bill Burr was dumb funny. He
love him. He's goated right now. He's like my number one comedian right now.
So he was shitting on Elon and Trump, but he also like does it in a way where like even if you're conservative a little bit, like you still fuck with him just because he's like just full steam ahead uh like he just like steamrolls you with like banger
Totally.
after banger. So the comedy show was good, but the thing they did what they did when we went to Rogan's comedy show. They took our cell phones away. And it kind of was like it was kind of good in a sense where like we didn't have to like it felt good to be away from my phone for a second.
Yeah, you could lock
Yeah.
in. You could lock
But
in.
also
Yeah.
like someone could record that shit. Like all the security guards still have their phone. There's meta glasses now where you could like record shit. So like also like you don't have to take people's phones anymore.
Yeah, it does feel like it's a little too over the top. He's one of the few comedians who can actually get away with doing that because he's so famous and so popular. It's like him and Dave Chappelle and like a handful of people. There's a bunch of comedians now where they might want to take it away, but it's like people are going to sort of be like,
Yeah,
fuck
people
you.
are gonna and then like also older people like I went to the bathroom and there was like an old security lady and she was like, what does this guy do? I was like so like there's some people that still don't know like who he does or what he is, but like it was a good show.
Yeah, nah, he's the man. I love Bill Burr. He's just getting better with age. He's like the anti-Rogan, you know?
And I mean he's on Broadway, so like he does his own shit, and that was like yeah, one thing too is like he doesn't cater like all the other comedians to Rogan, and like he's not afraid to kind of like speak out against like the ICE, like
Right.
deportation
He
shit.
actually says what he
He said
thinks.
himself.
Yeah, he actually says what he thinks, and he's on the left. Like he's not a fucking right winger like those
Yeah,
guys.
he kind of like carved out his own little, and he was mad funny. Like he was shitting on his dad like the whole fucking beginning. He was um, like waiting for his dad to die and all this. Like he was going in on Father's Day type of shit. But yeah, he was good. All right, what else do I got? Oh, this is what I want to ask you about. Um, well, there was a they interviewed the sketch artist for the Diddy trial. And I want to get your thoughts on if it's necessary to have a sketch artist in courtrooms.
I don't even know why they do it, bro. I don't even understand what the reasoning is. Like, I don't think I ever really understood it. It's just like a thing that's always existed that people just don't question. Like, yeah, you draw some shit when you're in court.
It's so
I don't get it.
it's so fucking random to me. And they showed the lady's sketches, and the shits were garbage. It was so bad.
That's an awesome job to get though. Like if you're an artist and they're just like, here, you get to draw all day and you get paid for it. You gotta love that shit if you're an artist. Like that's one of the few jobs that an artist would be like, oh, sign me up for that. I get to draw all
All
day.
day. And like I didn't know if like one, like what do they do with those drawings? Does that go,
I don't know.
you know?
Does it go into like a record, like a historical record that, so that in the future, if when we're gone as a civilization, somebody might dig up like, oh shit, look, there's pictures of people when they were getting like judged for what
But
they
they're
did.
bad drawings, and it's also like we're in the 20 are we still in the 21st century?
It's the one that's always after, I believe. How do centuries
Yeah, what's
work? I always got confused by this
yeah, I don't know
too.
what the fuck a
That
century
like
is.
a century is a period of 100 years, of
Oh,
course. Therefore, the 21st century includes the years 2001 to 2100. So
so we're in.
so really like
Yeah.
yes, right now we're in the 21st
Okay.
century. So yeah, it's the one. The century is like the one after, if you think about it, because like we're talking about we're in the 2000s, but that's the 21st century. You get what I'm saying?
Kind of. I'm like the
So like
worst
the
when someone explains some shit.
2000 to 2100 is the 21st
Okay.
century. Yeah.
I'm like
So like wait, let's think about that for a second. So that means the 20th century would have been from
1900s?
uh, it would have been from um yeah 1900s to 1999, I guess, right? Or to 2000. Yeah. That's the 20th century is the 1900s.
Yeah, see.
See what I'm saying? Like it's one
Yeah.
after, like 1900s, but it's the 20th century.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get what
yeah,
I'm saying?
no. Yeah.
Anyway,
But that seems so
two idiots trying to figure out how math works. That's what this show has become.
I'm the type of dude, like I tell you, I swear, like I really try to pay attention and listen to when someone tries to tell me some shit, and then they're like, you know what I'm saying, right? And I think too hard about what they're trying to tell me, that literally like I don't hear anything they're saying and don't get any, like at the gym, the lady will try and tell me like how to do an exercise, and she'll be like, "Okay, you got it, right?" And I'm like, you could have been speaking a different language. I don't even know what you just told me because I'm trying to think of
But that, but like that's actually kind of confusing. At least for me, it
that one
is.
is
So when I was
confusing.
a kid, I was a little bit dyslexic as a
Uh-huh.
kid, and so my brain tries certain things. My brain just like sort of flips and reverses. You know what I'm saying? So like my mom always used to say when I was learning how to write, I would always reverse any P that I drew, any B, any D. She used to say anything I can reverse, I did reverse. So like instead of writing a 7 the proper way, I would flip it the
Yeah.
other way. And so my brain still does that with certain shit. And this is one of those things where like you could have told me that for some reason the year 2001 to 2100 that's like the 19th century, and I'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense. But no, it's the 21st century. It's one after. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like my brain just sort of flips it and reverses it for some
But it
reason.
also doesn't
And
seem
so certain things,
practical.
that's one of those things that's
Yeah,
confusing to
but
me.
that one also doesn't seem like it seems like unnecessary. It seems like it doesn't make sense for what it's supposed to be, you know?
Yeah, because why don't you just say in the 2000s?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to say the 21st century? Just say it like it's in the 2000s.
There's too many terms.
You
There's
know?
like centuries, there's
I,
like the golden era, the golden age, like
Gilded Age. Yeah, there's the when you can go back to the dinosaur times and it's like what fucking like Paleolithic
yeah,
period and shit like that. Paleolithic age. Let's see when that was. Is the earliest period of human history,
Paleolithic.
stretching from 2.5 million years ago until around 10,000 BC. Okay, so that's not when dinosaurs. Dinosaurs died off how many years ago? 6 million years ago. How many years ago did dinosaurs die off? 66 million. I said 6 million. I was way off. 66 million years ago. Yeah, that's right. And that's the Cretaceous period.
What period is that
Yeah.
one?
Cretaceous period.
Damn. So what
And then isn't there a Jurassic period? Jurassic period. Let's see when that one is.
are we in a period right now?
I think we are. But hold on. The Jurassic period was the second of 3 geological periods in the Mesozoic era, lasting from 201 million years to 145 million years ago. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, see that's where I'm
Jesus
confused.
Christ.
It's like there's decades, there's eras, then there's periods. It's almost like a tennis match where it's like game, set, and match. There's all different layers to like what period in time we're in.
Hold up. This shit's got to be fake. So you asked what period are we in, and I
Yeah.
looked it up. You ready for the answer?
Paleolithic.
This shit says we are currently in the Quaternary period and the Holocene epoch of the Cenozoic era. That's got. Come on,
That's
man.
a made up.
Come on, dog. Why you got to do that to me? Why you got to do that to me? Some scientists also propose that we are in a new. Is that epic or epoch? EPOCH. I don't even know how you say that. Called the Anthropocene. What the fuck?
Can you see how they come up with those names or what time? Like, I don't know, whatever it is. It seems
Bro.
like
Yeah, you're too much. That's
that's
getting
too
crazy. This is way above my
Yeah,
pay grade.
yeah. But someone studies that shit and someone
Bro.
knows that shit, and that someone is less important than a doctor because they probably don't have some title to their shit.
To be fair, that all seems so made up,
seems
though,
super
right?
made
Like
up.
you're just coming up with names. Like the names are made up. Like what actually happened in those time periods is interesting and important. Like when the dinosaurs were around and when whatever we had a fucking like a frozen
yeah.
age where you know what I'm saying? Like ice age, I guess. Like that shit is important, but like to name it some weird shit is like, why'd you make up that name?
Just name it the shit that it's supposed to be like. That's the dinosaur era. That's the like
really dinosaur era, really cold ass
Yeah.
era, really hot ass era,
boring ass era, like
boring ass era, everybody's fighting ass
kill
era.
mad people era.
We're in the age of like the psychos run everything era.
No,
you
for
know?
real. All right, what else do I got on here? Oh, this one's important. Because I think this is just a New York thing, but do you need to start like a text conversation with a hello or like a good afternoon if you're asking somebody some shit? You
No,
can just ask them the shit, right?
of course.
I
Yeah.
feel like everywhere I've gone outside of New York, if I don't say good morning or like good afternoon, they'll always answer my question with that shit first. And I'm like, you didn't need to put that. You could have just answered my question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it isn't some New York shit, but we get right
Yeah.
to the point. We get right to the fucking point. There is no fucking small talk, no beating around the bush. It's just here's the deal.
Yeah.
You know?
There was this.
And Crystal says she likes that about people. Like she likes it when people, which makes sense because she married a
Yeah.
New Yorker. But my experience, and I'm curious what you think of this. The first time in my life I experienced Southern hospitality, I was like, yo, this shit is amazing. Those motherfuckers were like, how you doing, sir? Pleasure to see you. Like, and it was so over the top that it sort of somehow went all the way back around to being authentic.
Yeah.
Like, it was like so inauthentic that it was like, this actually can't even be inauthentic because it's so over the top that it's got to be authentic. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of, I've had that moment before where it kind of freezes you in your tracks where you're like, is this motherfucker being sarcastic right now with like how nice he is? You're like, no, this motherfucker is just actually like a really nice guy and greeted me on some like next level OD shit that I kind of got to match his energy with this shit and be like, I'm doing good, sir. How you doing? Like,
but that's the thing, right? Because that's what you will mirror it back to you. Like, that's another thing. That's a New York thing is like, we're direct into the shit, but if you give me some like fluffy ass, like nice ass, I'll be like, I'm doing great, man. How you doing? You know what I'm saying?
So I think I appreciate it, but also to fucking go against that shit, I think it's kind of unnecessary. Like we could have a baseline of like we're both doing good by just a smile, and then just being like, "You guys got bacon, egg, and cheeses here?"
Yeah.
And it's like, "Well, good morning, sir. How are you?" It's like, just answer if you got bacon, egg, and cheeses.
Reel it in. Reel it in, dog. Yes or no? You got bacon, egg, and cheeses or not? No, it's true. And it's also true that in my experience, people who are used to dealing with like bullshitters in their life, they really respect that New York energy of like, I'm just going to say the shit. Because if everybody around you is just bullshitting 24/7 and really fake and inauthentic 24/7, then it will feel like a breath of fresh air when somebody's just like really direct with you about everything.
Maybe that's why people like Kyle and Corin, because maybe we're on some Trump shit low key where it's just like our just brashness and like our authenticity. People fuck like if we were from like New Mexico and we were doing this podcast, people would probably be like, I don't like those guys. Like,
no, it's interesting though because there's all different places. I feel like they all got a different vibe. Like everything's got a different vibe. Like this, like the Southern California vibe. That is a legit
vibe,
like
man. I'm so like.
But those motherfuckers, like, I would just describe it as chilling. Those motherfuckers are chilling.
I would put
like
them in
nothing is rushed.
A too chilling category. Like,
I can understand that. I understand where that's coming from. But for some people, that vibe is going to be like, yo, that's where it's at. Those motherfuckers go slow as fuck. They're chilling. They're like, everything is just taken down like 5 notches in their life. And some people need that shit, right? And so I feel like everywhere's got their own little vibe. And New York is just known for being, I don't know, is aggressive the right word? I don't know if it's aggressive is the right word, but direct, definitely the most direct of the places. But there are downsides to that too. Like, it's hard to, if you're a New Yorker and you're in a new place, it's probably hard to make friends because they're going to think you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a little too direct and they'll be like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. You know, that's why my best friends are the best friends I've had forever. You're my best friend. I got, Bobby and Will and Brian, and like we've known each other forever. So that grants you a level of like you could say whatever the fuck you want. Nobody's gonna take offense to what you say. They're your boys. But like if I had some new friend and I would just talk to them like I talk to you, they might be like, what the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying?
That's I mean, it's a weird clash because I've spoken and I've like hung out with a lot of like Southern California people, and I'm just like, I don't get your vibe. Like, you don't like it.
Speed it up a little bit, dog.
Yeah, speed it up. But yeah, no. So going back to that shit, I'm kind of on the side of like, fuck the like foreplay, like nice conversation type shit. If I got a question, like just answer my shit and don't hit me with like a nice type of greeting first type of shit. Like we could go without all that.
Yeah. It honestly, it just depends on my mood, right? When I was in the South and I got that taste of Southern hospitality, like I'm in a new place, I don't know anybody around me, and it was nice to have somebody just be like, well, how you doing? Good morning, sir. How can I help you with that? And then it's just like,
But
I'm good, man. Thank you. Like, what about this? And then they're just like, well, let me tell you all about that. And it's like, oh, this is kind of nice to have a guy that's like kind of holding my hand through this shit.
And that shit can kind of get you fucked up a little bit even more because they might be able to get over on you more because you're like, this guy can't be mean or try and like pull one over on me because he's just got this sense of like trust to him. Whereas if someone did that here in New York, you'd be like, no, no, that guy's lying. So like your
Correct.
guard
Yeah.
gets brought down a little bit more. So it's almost like
It's true.
a double Jedi that they're pulling on you of like I'm gonna be nice, and if I'm fucking a con artist, you're got.
Yeah, that's right. And con artists are also like, genuinely, they're the smoothest motherfuckers. They're the people who make you trust them the most. That's the whole point about a con artist is like, my skill is to get you to open the fuck up to me, and I'm just playing you like a fiddle.
That's
Like that's what they
fucking,
do, bro.
like,
That's why there's always been con artists who always pull shit off because they charm the shit out of everybody.
I feel like if Gavin Newsom was born in New York, he could be a good con artist. But like he's got that California, like we know you're not a con artist shit. So like he doesn't ever get over on anybody.
Yeah, he is a weird case now because he went from like bottom of the barrel, like had no chance in 2028, and now that he's like the only person fighting Trump directly in the country, he just surged.
He's popular
Like,
again?
He's popular again because he started fighting Trump over taking the California National Guard and over deploying the Marines, and he just went from like nowheresville, like 3% in the polls, to just shot up way fucking higher because now people are like, oh shit, finally somebody's fighting back. Good for him.
Damn. So he's probably gonna be our next president.
It's possible. As long as we have free and fair elections, then whichever Democrat gets through will be the next president. But we'll see if he can keep it up. I don't know if he really fully gets yet. Like, bro, this is it. Like what you're doing right now, just do this for fucking 4 years and then you could do it. You know?
That was one of Bill Burr's shits last night. He was like, he was talking about Pete Buttigieg, and they're like, I just don't think the media gave him a chance, like saying like, are we ready for the first gay president? And he was like, you're telling me like we had whatever 48 however many presidents before, none of them were gay?
A bunch were gay. Abraham Lincoln was gay.
He was
apparently.
like, there was an era where like presidents wore like wigs. He was like, they were all definitely gay.
Yeah, it's true. We probably had at least like 5 gay presidents.
I wanted to ask you about this too. This happened. This is my list again. When you go to a drive-thru and they tell you to move up at the shit, does that piss you off?
I don't like it, but I just sort of follow the
Right?
command. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, it kind of sucks, but okay, fine, I'll pull up.
Yeah, that one bothers me a lot because I've had a lot of situations where they tell me to move up, but now you're blocking like either the exit or the person behind you will get their food and they have to like squeeze by you and then they look at you with a look and it's
Yeah.
like the dude told me to pull up. What the fuck you want me to do?
Yeah, that one's the worst when they tell you to pull up, but the guy behind you gets it first.
I'm like,
that is a little bit like, yo, that's not fair. What the fuck?
there's certain situations where like you have to do some shit by command, but it fucks up the flow of something else, and then the person gets mad at you because they didn't know that you were commanded to do that shit. And that's one of those situations where I'm like, like who's judging you at the drive-thru where if I sit here for an extra 2 minutes, like you're gonna get fired because like my burger, because I'm waiting too long for my burger.
Yeah, I got
That's
you.
one that bothers me. This one. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about the finals. Are you still watching the NBA finals?
Yeah, so it's actually literally on right now, and I got an update from Crystal that she just texted to me at 9:55 p.m. This is on Monday for everybody who's wondering. So the game is on right now. It is OKC versus Indiana Pacers, and Tyrese Halliburton at the half.
Points?
You ready for this, Corin? 0 points.
Not a good sign for Indiana.
0 for 5 field goals. 0 for 4 3-pointers.
I got a feeling you're going to tell me
-16.
Indiana's still going to be up or some shit, though.
Crystal sent me that, but she literally didn't send me anything about
the score.
About the score. She was just shitting on Tyrese Halliburton, which I respect. But it's OKC 78, Indiana 73, with 3 minutes left in the third quarter right now.
I thought that was a halftime score. Damn, that's a good ass game.
So you got a 5-point lead with OKC's up 5 right now.
That's crazy. I think there's a crazy stat where like if Halliburton doesn't score 15 or more, or like if he's like under 15, Pacers are like their record's not as good, but if he's over 15 or 20 points or something, they're just way better. And it makes sense.
Yeah, he's just streaky. Yeah, he's just streaky. He just always has these occasional games where he shits the bed, which you're not getting out of Shea. You know, a bad game for Shea is like 18 points or 20
Yeah, well,
points.
he also,
you know?
I mean, so last game, and I'm conspiracy theorist here, but supposedly Scott Foster, the referee, was like favoring OKC, and there was like blatant calls that like SGA was pushing off, and then he traveled and made a big shot to like go up by 3. So Rick Carlisle came out, the coach of the Pacers came out after and was just like, they shouldn't be shitting on the referee, this and that, and people thought he was kind of doing some Jedi. So the next game they came and helped him, but I think they want this series to go the distance because I don't know if it's getting great ratings or whatnot. But
do you know what the problem is? I'll tell you what the problem is. It's not just the small market shit that they're small market teams. The time in between the games is too much, dog. Like, I get it. I get why they're doing it. I get that the players need rest and it's been a long season and all that shit. But the fact that you got 2 days in between a bunch of the games is like, by the time the shit plays, everybody stopped thinking about the final. Like, nobody's even thinking about the finals anymore. Like, whereas during the heart of the playoffs, when it's just 1 day off, it's like, hey, you're in it. The whole time you're in it. You're thinking about basketball all the time. You're watching every game. Now it's like, I'm like, oh shit, is the finals are tonight, right? Oh no, they're not tonight. They're tomorrow night. And it's like, bro, the last game felt like it was a week ago. You know?
And I texted this to you. I think like you can't have the first 3 rounds of the playoffs be a certain way and train us like just to be like my body body felt ready. Pause for a game yesterday. You know, like it's just how it was. Like we were trained in that Knicks series where it was like tonight's a game. Yep, tonight's a game. To your point, you check in the finals, you're like, tonight's a game. You're like, nah, that shit's tomorrow. And you're just like, fuck you. Like,
yeah, totally. And like, look, I would much rather, I'm curious your thoughts on this. I would much rather, if you're telling me my only options are keep it like it is right now and the finals have 2 days off in between, or go back to every other playoff series is 5 games and the finals is the only one that's 7 games. I would rather take that.
I like that.
Because you got to keep the flow. You got to keep the flow. And for a long time they did 5-game. Didn't they do a 5-game playoff series for a long ass time?
Yeah, the first round was definitely best of 5. And then I don't know if it got switched in the second round too, but yeah, at one point it was best of 5, whether it was the first and second round or just the first round. But they switched it to best of 7, which, to your point, I feel like is a little excessive, like in the first and second round. Like maybe keep it shorter than the last shit. Like all right, now we got the best 2 teams, play for 7, you know?
Right, exactly. I'd be fine if my options are keep the way it is now or do that. I would rather have them do that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is
get the same energy of like a game 5 as your game 7 as like the game 7 loses a little bit of like its funk when like you have every single round of game 7 leading up to that shit. It's like, all right, this isn't cool anymore, you know?
Yeah, and it just, like you said, you sort of mentally check out when it's so long in between the games, you know? And I've been watching a lot of basketball this year, like a lot of basketball. And even me in this finals, I'm like,
well,
you know, like, oh shit, it's not tonight. Fuck, it's tomorrow. Okay. And then you got to get hype again tomorrow. And then we're like, let's do a podcast. Okay, I can miss some of the finals. It's fine.
So do you give Stephen A. Smith a pass for? Is this going to be like?
Hell no.
So for people that don't know, Stephen A. Smith, I mean, they probably know him by now because he's in the political world. But he said it was during a timeout, but there was a photo of him playing solitaire during the middle of like the third quarter or some shit like that of an NBA Finals game.
He's lying.
He doesn't get a pass.
He's lying. Yeah. No, he doesn't get a pass for that because, look, he's the hot take master. He has literally mastered the art of the hot take. But, like, if you're going to give hot takes, you can't be caught slipping like that because people already are sort of on your ass that you have, like, really surface-level NBA takes. And, like, now you're just proving it by playing fucking solitaire in the middle of the NBA Finals.
And who still plays solitaire,
no, I'm not giving you a pass.
Like, I feel like there's so many other better games now with, like...
Yeah, what are you, 82? Playing fucking solitaire. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I respect it in one sense because there's still... I don't play chess on my phone, but I feel like chess is a game that, like, could date back to whatever like the first era was or decade or some shit, and like that shit's withstood the test of time. But Solitaire is one of those where it's like that shit is kind of outdated in the card sense.
Bro, Solitaire is when like your fucking power goes out and you have absolutely nothing to do, and you're like, all right, I guess here's a deck of cards. Okay, I'll play
Yes.
Solitaire. Anything outside of that is like, what are you doing,
If you
bro?
have a
What are you
phone in
doing?
your hand and you're willing to play a game, there's so many apps. There's so many like Words with Friends. No one's even
Yeah,
like
people fuck with that shit
that
hard.
shit used to be a banger. Like Molly plays
Yeah.
or she used to play. It was like there's all these like different crown jewels or some shit, and I think she's got to like pop them or something like that. It's like some game that like the jewels got to fit into place, and if there's like three red shits together, then it erases itself and more fall down. Like
Yeah. Those games are always
yeah,
cool. They're like Tetris knockoff
but
types. Yeah.
like when you're when you're you remember when the computer back in the day would have like 4 games on that shit?
Solitaire was one of them.
Solitaire.
Yeah.
They had, which probably would get canceled now.
Something sweeps. It's something
It was like
sweeper.
mine.
Fuck.
No.
I'm gonna look it up.
It was like the numbers would be
What
together, but if you
were
pressed the wrong
the
button, like there was a
core?
bomb under the shit, right?
I don't remember.
Minesweep?
Hold on, let me look this up. Is it Minesweep? Early computers. No, this is not what we're looking for. Solitaire, Minesweeper is one of them.
Minesweeper.
Yes. Solitaire,
Chess.
Minesweeper. Yeah. Space Cadet, I think, was another
Oh,
one.
wait, I don't remember Space.
There'd just be like a few games. Here we go. Windows 98.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking. Microsoft Solitaire, Microsoft Hearts Network, Microsoft Minesweeper, and Microsoft Free Cell. Yeah, I feel like Minesweeper
Which one
maybe
was
I
Free
played as a
Cell?
kid.
That one sounds familiar.
I don't remember. I do not remember what that shit was.
I mean, kind of.
But yeah, you gotta up your game. You gotta up your fucking your choice of game on your phone. But also just don't play while the fucking NBA finals are on. It's not that difficult.
Well, that's what it made me think of. Like Molly would come to baseball games with me, and it'd be whatever. Like games get good probably past the 6th inning, and it'd be like the 8th inning or 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, and it'd be like some exciting ass shit. And I'd look over to her, and she's just like reading a book on her phone, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. And it gave me the same vibes of Stephen A. Smith of just like, at least like for him, like pretend you're interested in the shit. Like you can't have your phone out playing some game in like the most important game you're watching, you know?
Yeah, because again, his shits are so surface. Like his takes are really surface level. And like when you do that, people are gonna know you're not really following the whole game. How can you really accurately comment on like the vibe and the flow of the game and who was doing what well and who was doing what wrong when like you're not paying attention for big chunks of the game? Like, come on, man, it's just not that hard to follow the game. Like, just watch the fucking game.
What are some? Do you ever play? War was one. War was dumb easy.
Yeah, War was the classic, and that requires no skill whatsoever. It's just total luck. So it was good. Like as a kid, I'd play with like my grandma and shit.
And then Goldfish, I don't even remember how like that game worked. I think you held cards in your hands.
Was Goldfish one of the ones you need a special deck for?
No, I think it was just regular cards, but they would just, would they just be like, do you have a 7?
I'm thinking of Uno then. I think Uno has its own.
You need a special card.
Yeah.
But Goldfish, I don't remember if you held your cards and you just asked the random number, and if they didn't have that shit, you would just have to keep picking until you got because there's not that many. Like you could pick through a whole deck if like you don't have a 7. I
don't remember Go Fish. I remember Gin Rummy. Vaguely remember Gin Rummy. I think I played that once like 2 years ago. We had to look up again, like how does it work exactly again? And we looked it up and then we played it and then I forgot again how it works.
All right, what else I got on my list? My bad. Let's watch some of this finals game. All right, here are the ChatGPT ones real quick. Would you date yourself?
No. Of course not. Bro, I like how would I
feel like I'm like I don't like unnecessarily fart, and like I'm kind of clean and I like brush my teeth.
But I'm just thinking from the perspective of like first of all, I'm not gay, so why would I want to date a guy? That's the first point. If I if I was not myself and I was a woman, would I date myself? No. I wouldn't, because I feel like I feel like I have very obvious flaws. Like, I'm very deficient in clear ways. Like we talked about, I don't do laundry, I don't cook.
But
Like,
what guy does?
these are very
Like, and if
basic.
they do, they're probably like a weird ass dude.
Nah, see, I disagree with that. I'm sort of more of the modern mindset of like, the default perspective is like everything should sort of be treated equally in the house. That's my default mindset,
Okay.
right? Now, I have deficiencies where everything is not equal. So I make up for that in other
Yeah.
ways, right? Like, there are other ways I try to always, whenever Crystal says, can you do this or you do that? Absolutely,
Yep.
I'm on. Like, I try to make up for it in
Yep.
other ways, but I know my deficiencies. And I feel like if I'm a woman, my deficiencies would piss me off as a woman. If I was a woman, I'd be like, I don't fuck with,
You'd
like,
almost
you're too
sway
deficient.
myself
You know what
not
I'm
to
saying?
date myself because I feel like I got
Yeah, because,
deficiencies too. I'd
like,
be like,
look,
why are you just laying on the couch?
bro, don't get me wrong. I'm a nice
Yep.
guy, right?
Good looking dude.
I never, me and Crystal never fight. Never. When I tell you, in our whole time together, we've had maybe
That's
one
what's
fight.
up.
Maybe. We never
Yeah.
fight. And so, like, if you like a cool, chill ass relationship and, like, everything is just chilling, then yes. But again, if I'm a woman and I'm looking at me, I'd be thinking, I want a guy who's a little more competent. Like, here's another thing I suck at. I'm not good at those little fixer-upper shit you got to do
Oh, I
around the
can't do any
house.
of that shit.
Like, I don't know how to fix anything, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like, a lot of guys have a dad who knows how to do some handyman shit, and they teach them some shit. I don't know how to do dick.
No, but
That's what I'm saying. So like, I have enough deficiencies where if I was a woman, I'd be like,
yeah, that's too much.
I'll
Yeah,
pass
no,
on you.
damn. I think you swayed me because like I'm just trying to think of my positive shit, but my negative shit's probably like I can't cook. Like I can't be like, like, oh, date me. I'll have like I'll cook up a nice dinner and we'll like sit down and be banging. Nope. If we went to IKEA and to your point, like she was like, oh, like that'd be cute if you put that together. Like, nope, I don't like I couldn't screw some shit together. Like, oh,
No way.
like the TV
Nope.
went out. You mind looking behind the TV and trying like figure out how to fix
Good
this shit?
luck.
Nope, we're not watching TV that night. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's right.
there's a big ass tree in my backyard. But like if you could like maybe like cut it down or
Take the chainsaw and
yeah,
break that
like
bitch up. Nope, can't
move
do
it to
it.
the front.
There's
Like,
nothing.
nope, can't help you with that shit. Like, oh,
Not happening.
my tire's flat. Would you mind just coming up? Can't fix your shit.
Bitch, that's what AAA's for. Pick up the phone. Like, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, that's a deficiency.
Yeah. We got
That's a
mad
deficiency.
deficiencies. Fuck, man. We're lucky to have
Of
women
course,
involved.
yeah. I mean, look, everybody's got deficiencies, right? Like, I feel like the upside is that, like I said, I'm never a hassle.
Yeah.
Like, you're never gonna be like, damn, I can't be around this motherfucker right now. He's too
Yeah.
annoying. Because, like, yeah, I know I'm very outspoken on my show and shit, and we're outspoken on the podcast, but, like, in real life, I'm just chilling
We're
all
just
the like,
chilling. So that's an upside.
I'm not.
That's on some like I might.
That's upside. I'm never fighting you. I'm never nitpicking you over some dumb
Now you're
bullshit.
taking it to the
like,
other way though. Now you're on some like I might date you on some type of shit because it's just on some like I don't give a fuck. Like you want to wear the purple dress or the green shit? I don't care. Like wear whatever the fuck you want to wear.
I'm not going to cause you any
Exactly.
problems. Like, that's not happening. I'm not causing you any
think that
problems.
outweighs all
And
the
I'm
other
good at
shit.
being like, and I'm good at being like, as an emotional support person. Like, I
Yeah.
got you.
No,
You know,
yeah.
I'm on your
Yeah.
team. I'm on your team. Like, we're a team. I'm with you. And so, like, there are upsides, but I don't know. To me, the downs, I would a little bit, to your point, like you said, you would look at yourself like, why are you on the fucking couch? Like, get the fuck up. I'm sure Crystal's had that experience looking at me. Like, motherfucker, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. You woke up at 10. You're still laying in bed in your underwear. Like, I've been up with the kids for 4
Yeah.
fucking hours. Like, fuck you
Yeah.
a little bit, you know? And it's like, sorry, like, I know I'm deficient, but, like, I'm just slowly
Yeah,
waking up
no,
and I can't move right now.
That should be allowed in every like Sunday morning. My body is just programmed to like wake up and I'm up. So like don't think I'm up because in a couple hours, maybe like 9:30, 10 o'clock, my body's gonna shut back down again and I need like that nap where I'm on the couch chilling. So like just understand that that's how my body works.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to be, if you're up with the kids for 4 or 5 hours, cooking them breakfast, entertaining them, and doing all
You're
sorts of
allowed
shit, you would have a little bit of
Yeah.
resentment against, like, damn, you're sleeping this whole time, sort of fuck you,
Yep.
you know?
All right, I got a couple more. Are you good on time or you want to watch some of this game?
We're good. Let's wrap it up in like 10 minutes, and then we'll
All right.
catch some of the fourth quarter.
Were you okay with Meghan Markle dancing in her delivery room? Did you see that video of her dancing? Like she was like twerking.
I did not
All
see
right.
that.
Well,
I did not
she was
see
like
that
twerking in her
video.
delivery room. And like a video came out and people were mad at her.
People were saying like your man wouldn't like that or
Yeah, like
whatever.
it was on fucking like Princess Lice to be like twerking and
So you're basically asking me if I'd be cool with Crystal twerking on video. The answer to that is no. I don't want my wife twerking on video. She can only twerk for me behind closed doors. That's how that works.
all right. There was a pickle soft serve yogurt at a baseball game. Are you eating that flavor?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm not a pickle guy. I really don't like pickles very
Ranch
much.
ice cubes?
Hell no. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. What are we talking about here?
Sushi cereal bowls.
Oh, hell no. I hate sushi. No. Get that out of here.
And then there's a trend right now going around with hot dogs. It's a hot dog trend, like hot dog clothes, earrings, and rug. Are you in or out on the hot dog trend?
Out. What are we talking about? Hot dogs are weird. They're made with all sorts of gross shit. They look gross. Like they taste okay, but like you're overlooking a lot to eat a hot dog. You know what I'm saying?
So we went to like 3 different restaurants before the comedy show, and one of them was this spot called like Papayas. I think it's like famous in the city, but they had hot dogs, and they had 2 hot dogs, one with chili on it, and it came to like $7. They had bacon, egg, and cheeses for like $2.75. Like their prices were mad good, and their hot dogs were like crunchy and mad good. Like it was a fucking good ass hot dog, but to the point it was right after we went to the Chinese spot and the fly went in there, and then Molly, we went to the hot dog place, and Molly was like, look up at the ceiling. The vent was like black. It was like covered. It was disgusting in there. And I was like, it's kind of weird that I would eat whatever the fuck in here, but was worried about the little fly and the other shit.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, there's some gross ass places out there, bro. But like, if it tastes really good, that overrides a lot of shit in your brain. Your brain is just like, I don't really care. This is good.
Yep.
You know.
All right, that's all I got. That's all I got on my shit. Did I miss anything?
I don't know, dog. I'm good. Just fucking miserable looking at the news all day.
Yeah, it's hopefully
that the world is ending. But
hopefully no nuclear wars by the time we come back next week and we're still here.
It's crazy that we got to actually think about
Wait,
that
so
now.
like real quick,
Like, damn.
Hunter Biden they got him on shit, but they were just like, we can't do anything because he was pardoned by his dad not long ago.
I mean,
I think
they didn't really have him on anything
serious.
serious.
I thought he was like
there was nothing that was
I read, and then like they couldn't do anything because he was pardoned.
They got him on some like really minor gun charge where there was some law that like you can't buy a gun while you're high on drugs, and he was high on drugs, and they were able to prove it, and it's a law that's like never enforced ever, and so they tried to get him, but like the shit, Biden pardoned him, so now he's like clear for all that shit.
Damn, I wish.
Yeah, but I just covered Trump pardoned all the January 6 people, and one of those January 6 guys had a child porn conviction, and he's arguing that the January 6 pardon also gets him off the hook for that too. Because he says, oh, the only reason you were able to find that is because the January 6th warrant you used against me, so you got to throw out that conviction also.
What a mess.
How dark is that shit?
What a mess.
I know. It's disgusting.
My goodness. Oh, all right. Well, love you, bro. Thanks for hopping on. Enjoy the rest of the game, and hopefully that guy goes.
Love you too, man. Yeah, we're 8-point lead for OKC, about 10 minutes left, so it should be good. Good ending.
All right, later.